Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane Spawn Gunslinger Spawn action figure. This is a Target exclusive. I was fortunate enough to come across a couple of them today. I have all the other figures from the wave, but missed this pre-order at Target.com. I knew eventually I'd track one down, so I snatched him up real quick, and here he is. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. So you can see at the top, ages 14 plus. This is not a toy. I always think it's hilarious when McFarlane puts it on their action figures. It is a toy, it's just a badass toy. McFarlane Toys, from a record-breaking comic, Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn. Here he's in the package. He's got 3 different guns, and then a holster. Looks like he also has a display stand. One side of the package, you can see Gunslinger Spawn posed up. Other side, here he is down there. Spawn. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And in the back, here he is, dual wielding his revolvers. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, 2 revolvers, a rifle, and a satchel for his rifle to go into. This figure is a Target exclusive, arguably the hardest to find of the wave. And it's a very cool figure. Gunslinger Spawn was from the Wild West era. He's a Hell Spawn, and he was a friend of Al Simmons, the current Spawn's great-grandfather. So let's take a look at him. So Gunslinger Spawn, he's in a more traditional Spawn type look. He's got the white, the black outfit around his skin. Very similar masks as the regular Spawn. He's got this sort of Western style top hat, little skulls all around it. Collars popped, sort of flowing in the wind. Looks really good. There's a new comic series, I believe, with Gunslinger Spawn. Supposed to be some hot stuff. He's got little spikes around his forearm armor. Got 2 belts full of bullets. Holsterable guns, very nice. All 3 of his guns will be able to be holstered at the same time. Looks like double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, spikes all around his shins and feet. Very nice looking figure so far. Very pleased with what I'm seeing. One of my favorites of the wave. Although you can't knock the Clown and Violator, it is a strong Series 1, that's for sure. And just a closer look at his face or head. This guy looks pretty nice. He looks like Spawn, our Spawn, wearing a hat, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. I think they did a good job on this figure. He looks very similar to the comic appearance of Gunslinger Spawn. Now, I made the comment a second ago about how he's one of the best of the wave, but you can't knock the Clown or Violator. I said that because Clown and Violator are a huge part of the Spawn lore from day one, but Redeemer and Raven look absolutely fantastic as well. It is a very solid Wave 1. Can't wait to see what's coming next. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says Spawn at the bottom, got 1 peg for the peg holes on his feet. It's very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his guns. Here are a couple of pistols. Earlier I said they were revolvers, but actually looking at them, I think they're 6-shooters. They look pretty good. Old Wild West style. Got the brown handle. Good amount of sculpting detail. You can see the sort of skull or Spawn logo down there. Some little bumps at the top. Pretty good looking gun. Here's his Spawn holding his pistols. He can hold them in different various poses. And here are his pistols holstered at his side. I absolutely love a figure that has guns you can holster onto them. Now let's look at his rifle. Pretty long, old school sort of pump. Nice detail. Wood all over it. It's got that sort of Spawn skeleton skull thing. Looks pretty nice. Definitely got a Western old school feel to it. And then you've got his sort of satchel goes over his back. Looks pretty good. A little bit of rubbery, bendable material. Here's Spawn holding the rifle. He can hold it with either 1 hand or with 2. And here he is, holstering his rifle on his back. I love the fact this guy can hold all 3 of his weapons and holster them all at the same time. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now straight to height. And this guy's a really tall action figure, especially because of his head. From bottom to the top, he's standing at about 8.4 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 21 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. I'll start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. You can look up about that far, down that much, which is pretty impressive, but seems very unnecessary. Kind of cover up his face if he wants to hide like that. His shoulders are ball joint, goes out more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. I don't see a butterfly joint here. Most of McFarlane figures have that. He's got a bicep cut below that, double jointed elbows below that. His wrist has a ball in it, can rotate, and it is going to be hinged as well, but you can't get a lot of motion out of it. This sort of forearm armor is prohibiting it. In his torso here, he's got a ball joint at the top, rotate around, go forward and back. Another ball joint at his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him a pretty wide range of motion. A lot more in the waist, a little bit less up here. Legs, they go out about this far. Not a ball joint, but a similar type idea. Rotation, not too bad. Legs go forward about that far. They can go back, not too much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankle here, it's got a ball in it, goes forward and back, can rotate, can tilt and rock, and he's got toe articulation. Here's an Extreme Sets bar diorama. Pretend this is an old Wild West setting. Gunslinger Spawn comes in, hand on his pistol. He's looking for someone very specific. He came for the man in black, one of the worst men in the town. They both draw. The man in black is actually faster. He gets off the first shot. But as I'm sure you can imagine, that doesn't stop Gunslinger Spawn. He takes out his target. Gunslinger Spawn always gets his target. Spawn goes ahead and drags the body out. And once that's done, it's business as usual. Another round at the bar. This sort of stuff happens all the time. Just another day in the life. Spawn leaves the bar. He wants to get on his horse and get out of town. Some of the local townsmen decide they don't want to let this outsider get away with this. They go outside and confront Spawn. Gunslinger Spawn tells them, "Please don't do this. You guys will regret this." Of course, they don't take him seriously. Their guns are drawn, bullets are blazing. Gunslinger Spawn makes quick work of them. Gunslinger Spawn hears a noise. Even in this old town of Gotham, Batman won't let someone take the law into their own hands. Here's a DC Direct, Wild West Batman from Return of Bruce Wayne. And as much as I love Batman, I think Gunslinger Spawn's gonna make short work of this guy. And Spawn finally gets to take his horse and ride out of town. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures. Starting off, next to some other McFarlane Spawn figures. Here's the entire first wave of McFarlane's modern Spawn line. It is a very solid Series 1. The only one I'm missing is the Platinum Chase variant of Redeemer. And here he is, next to all the different McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn figures. Then, next to a couple of Mandarin Spawn figures. I still need to get the deluxe GameStop version. Here's my entire modern Spawn collection. I am missing a few. I'm missing the Platinum Chase variant of Redeemer. I'm missing the GameStop exclusive deluxe Mandarin Spawn. And most importantly, I'm missing the Kickstarter Spawn. If anyone has any idea where I might be able to get one, drop me a line. Here's Gunslinger Spawn, next to all of my older McFarlane Spawn figures. The four on the left are some of the original Spawn figures in the little smaller scale, and the ones on the right are pretty much a 7-inch scale. They work more or less okay with the newest Spawn figures. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. Here he is, with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. And in front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And here he is, next to some McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Then, next to some more McFarlane figures. These are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack's Pacific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, next to some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Makefix figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, he's a pretty cool figure. I like the fact that he's an actual canonical Spawn from the comics. Comic accurate. Looks very familiar. When I first heard of Gunslinger Spawn, I thought it was just Spawn in sort of a Wild West outfit, but he's so much more than that. This guy's accessories are great. He has 3 different guns, and they're all holsterable at the same time. His articulation is also very nice. The sculpt and paint job, fantastic, no issues there. He's a really cool figure, an odd one to have an exclusive, but at the same time, looking at the entire wave, they are all home runs. If I were to rate this guy, give him a good 8.5 out of 10. I'm enjoying this guy quite a bit. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.